It just feels a bit product.
That's such a good coffee.
Is it good?
Oh,
TVI blend,
it's
mate.
morally
TVI.
wrong, but Starbucks get it right.
Well, the thing is, I used to be. We'll start. We'll welcome everyone to episode 131. Guest Andrew Ryan.
There's
in the
131
studio.
episodes.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, though, I wouldn't listen to the first 99. Start at 100.
Did you do this in lockdown?
Yeah, so we did loads during lockdown.
You
over
didn't like the
Zoom.
Zooms, did you?
Well, I just found it a bit like, I find it hard to get motivated to go into my spare room and sit at a desk and
I quite liked
have a
it.
phone call.
It's like, what's your commute like?
Yeah, I like going to do comedy. Like, that's why I like to commit.
I like laying in bed and
Yeah, you
comedy.
do. I mean, yeah, we're very different people. But so yeah, let's quickly talk Starbucks. So, like, basically, we record here at Vauxhall podcast studio. Lovely,
Great
lovely
studio.
place. Great studio.
Unbelievable. Lads, it's my first time here.
It's-
walking through.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Every time I see anything outdoors now, I always think, oh, that's probably a lockdown.
You did say that to me.
This
That
isn't a
lockdown
lockdown
thing.
No.
This is like a genuine.
It's
it's been here.
it's a real
Yeah, that's great.
24/7.
This is a locked-in thing, man.
But it basically, the Vauxhall, very bad for coffee. Like, there's no hipster coffee. Vauxhall's not a hipster place. It's more of a roundabout, isn't it?
Yeah.
Roundabout next to a river. So it's got cool places like this beer garden here. And it's got some nice pubs. It's got the Vauxhall
Even
Tavern.
the Tesco's the smallest Tesco
yeah.
in England.
But there's no, like, you can't.
one
There's not
shop.
like, oh, let's go to that hipster coffee shop. So we have to get our pre-show coffees from Starbucks. And I've always been so fucking pretentious about Starbucks. I never go. I never drink our Starbucks. Since we've been doing it here and I've been getting one, it's fine.
Have
It's
you got
fucking
this?
delicious.
Absolutely
I
fine.
got one of these Starbucks card.
What is it?
So
Like a
basically-
gold card. You get it free every time
No,
you
you
go
sign
in.
up to. You basically, every time you get a coffee,
You pay for it on that credit card.
But you gain points. So then one day you walk in to go, oh, you've got £4 credit. We'll give you this one for free and stuff like that.
I have not got one.
Little loyalty thing,
Yeah.
I love loyalty cards. I've loads of them.
You
I've got a
strike me
few.
as somebody who likes a loyalty
Mate,
card.
I
We've
tell-
talked in the
I
past
love-
about.
I
do you
love
have?
bargains, man.
Do you have a lot of
You used to
nectar
always
ones?
have really good tips on like hire cars. Like, you were
Yeah.
always really good at just, this is what you
Very
need
practical,
to look.
yeah.
Very practical.
So like I used to hire cars rather than drive, obviously. So what you do is instead of when you go to hire a car, they try and sell you there. So you buy say the car's £100 for a week or 5 days, whatever.
That's a
And you go in and they
bargain.
go, oh, it's an extra £11 a day if you want to bring the excess down from 1,000 to 50. I buy my own separate.
I did the
excess
same.
policy for like
Off the back
80
of you
quid.
telling me this.
And you have that every. So if you go to Spain,
Yeah.
it covers the whole year.
I've got it,
But it
mate.
saves
How
you
much
a
do you
fortune.
save?
Oh, well, it depends how often you rent. So, like, I was renting, say, 2 cars a month, 3 cars a
Yeah.
month for, say, a year. So it pays itself back within
Oh,
like, a month.
so much.
Wouldn't it be cheaper just to buy a car?
No.
No, but see, our lifestyle and London and parking and all that, it's
Yeah,
diff.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, you know the way if you get a nice weekend up in Middlesbrough and, you're looking at the trains, you're going, no
Is there
chance.
such thing?
But you
Got
know
a
what I mean?
lovely
You know-
weekend in Middlesbrough.
in
Can't wait to-
Teesside. But
I
like,
love
there's something like
Middlesbrough.
awkward like that you just have this awkward week.
Yeah.
Or another thing as well is, if I was hiring a car for a week and then I needed to buy furniture and do certain things, I would use that car to go off to like
Yes.
IKEA and do all those bits and bobs.
Do your burglaries?
Do my
Do
burglaries.
some hit and run.
Yeah, but I'm a bargain hunter. Like,
What?
What about lease cars?
no, I'd never anything. This is how I buy cars, right?
That's what I'm interested
So what I do is it's really cheap to borrow money at the moment,
Is
right?
it?
So if you want to buy
Can
a
I borrow
car,
a tenner then?
Chuck me a G.
Chuck a man a monkey.
check a man a monkey. So like I'd never buy anything to do with a car dealership or anything like that. So what I do is if I needed to buy a car for 10 grand and I can get a loan, try and get a loan about 2%, and then just go in, you're buying the car for cash. Then
Right.
They don't
Just
know you're
fuck the
buying.
loan off.
They don't know you've got a loan.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
Drive
to do
into
it.
the sunset
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Thelma and Louise.
Default on the loan. Free car, mate.
Go off a
Your car
cliff.
may be repossessed if payments are not.
That's all right. But
But I do it like I'm a big. I used to join Costco, you know.
yeah.
I'm going to Costco and you bulk buy your
I've got a
toilet rolls and
macro
all that
card
kind of stuff.
actually.
What are you talking of cars? Are you going to be affected by this ultra low emission zone thing?
What is that again?
Well, this is because basically
Probably, but
from 25th of October. When is that? From the day of recording, 10
Next
days
week.
time. The ultra low emission zone. This is really. We started on really like grown up, boring conversation
Yeah.
like topics.
Sorry, listeners.
That's fine. People
I'll
need to
say
know this.
cock
If
in
you're
a
in
minute.
London, yeah, don't worry. Julian will drag this into the gutter. But there's a thing called the ultra low emission zone. So central London at the minute, if you've got a diesel that's older
I've
than
not got a
5 years old,
diesel.
or a petrol car that's older than 13 years old, if you drive into central London, then you have to pay the ultra low emission zone, right?
Get a train.
But that's
innit?
extending to the fucking north and south circular, that whole area.
Oh,
of
really?
London. So if you've got like a diesel
But
car,
if you live there already,
no, it's tough. Even if you take it off your driveway to move it, you've got to pay £12.50 any time you drive your car.
Wow.
From the 25th of October.
okay, cool.
You should probably look into this.
Getting a skateboard.
Just setting
Get one of
fire to
those.
your car. It's mad. Like I'm on my neighbour's insurance.
What?
She lets me use her car.
Is that anywhere within the north?
How do you negotiate that conversation?
I'm just very friendly.
wait.
Hi, Bria, do you want me to do your bit? Anyway, you know that car that's on your drive?
She offered, like, so they live upstairs, we live downstairs. We get on great.
What do you get in return? What does she get off you? Do you give her a bottle of wine or something?
BJ.
Chris?
No, nothing. 'Cause she's a hairdresser. She cuts my hair and she almost refuses to take money every time. She's the best neighbour ever. Both of them.
Very
are
important to
lovely.
get good. You never appreciate a good neighbour till you get a bad one.
Absolutely, that's a nice phrase.
I've had to move twice.
Have you ever had?
because
Oh, you've had bad
I've moved
neighbours.
twice.
What?
Moved
All right.
twice.
What? Talk us
Twice?
through.
Oh, mate.
Who
So I
was
lived in Manchester.
I mean,
Who's the
so-
bad neighbour?
I was going to say, so far you're the constant here.
I'm the common
I've
denominator.
moved 7 times.
Every time I move, I've got to leave.
They don't like me fucking.
No, do you know what it
busting
was?
my music.
Doing my
out.
primal screams in the night.
Me and a missus were living in an apartment in Manchester, and it was one of those, the balconies are very close to the next balcony. And, you're out in your balcony, and literally like
Hitting your bong.
5 feet away from you, they're on their balcony, and you're in your sitting room with the
Yeah,
slide
yeah,
door.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can hear everything they're saying. Tuesday, Wednesday night parties on a balcony. And it went on and went on. We spoke to them.
They wouldn't invite you still now.
No, just hanging out. like-
Having their parties, talking about how much they hate their neighbours.
Oh, and you know what? One day I thought, I'm going to get these fuckers back, right? Because they were all smoking weed and it was coming in the window. And
Get your party hat
yeah.
out.
So one day I thought, I'm going to have a barbecue on my balcony,
Oh.
which was illegal. Anyway, I did anyway, but sure weren't they out for the whole day,
Oh,
so they couldn't
God.
get any of my smoke. But anyway, we moved because of that. And then I was living in St. Albans, and I lived in this amazing apartment for about a year. Couldn't have had a better place to live. So quiet, so peaceful. And the lady above me moved out, and I never heard her.
Yeah.
And then this guy moved in, mate. And I'm telling you now, I still think about him.
Footsteps.
Footsteps, and he's one of these city blokes. He had a cravat, and he was a business consultant.
Yeah.
And he drove a Jeep, and he had you kind of guy that goes shooting fucking
Yeah,
ducks. One of
Yeah,
those
yeah.
kind of little cats. And he was just the way he spoke as well, and he'd body fat, sort of he was trying to hide his fat. You had one of those waistband things, you
What, a corset?
Cummerbund.
Yeah, one of those.
Well, there's another name for them, isn't there?
Cummerbund.
No, cummerbund. A cummerbund is what you wear with posh suits. And
tuck.
stuff.
Yeah, they kind of tighten it in.
But there's them corset things. There's a special
A
name
basque.
for them.
I don't know what it is, but it sucked all the fat in. But anyway, he was just a bit. A bit slimy.
What was
but
the problem? The noise, though.
No, so I could
Or
hear
just
his
his
feet.
image.
No,
Yeah, it's so far it's everything about the guy. Not a single
No,
positive.
but
Go on.
I just didn't like him, right? So I went up. I was sitting at home one night, and I could hear his TV, and I knew exactly what he was watching. So when I went up, knocked on the door, I said, "Hey man, nice to meet you. I'm Andrew. I'm downstairs. How you getting on? I see you moved in."
Man, if I watch you stand
Yeah. And he had fucking surround sound system. But the thing about it is that he bought the apartment for $500,000, so I couldn't go to the property managers or the estate agent.
Right.
So the following day he came down and knocked me, and he was like, "Man, I'm so sorry." And I was like, "Oh, this guy's sound."
Yeah, yeah.
He come down.
Yeah.
"I'm really sorry. What I'm doing is going to soundproof." And I was like, "Mate, you're a ledge."
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And then about 3 days later, he had a party up there, and people in heels and shoes. And
Yeah.
I got the fucking broom, right?
Heavy
Got me
beats then.
fucking broom, and I did that. Yeah, a fucking broom and that, right?
join in with a beat.
Join with a beat, yeah.
Like drum. I started spitting bars.
So I went across to my neighbour and I knocked on her door and I said, "Are you listening to that fucker?" And she was like, "No, I hear nothing." And
Oh, no.
anyway, so nobody.
Yeah.
So annoying you don't get support.
I
Yeah, I didn't get any support.
I feel like
from
the
the
mad
other
one.
Yeah, like, I'm
Sound
sure
asleep.
I'm definitely hearing
Can't hear
this.
anything. Like,
So anyway, it went on for about 3 months, and I wrote a letter to him like, "Hi mate, look, I don't want to be
that's
in pain, but I
letter.
can hear everything, and I didn't hear the last person, and I maybe it's just the way these apartments were built under the last Labour government, but because it was,
how long was the letter?
no, because of the fucking the Labour government built
500-page book.
and anyway he ignored it.
Oh,
So it went on for
brutal.
about 2 or 3 weeks where there was a fucking issue. Anyway, the ground floor apartment went on fire, and my friend was visiting.
Coincidence.
Right, the ground floor. There was a poor lady in there. Her ground floor apartment. So we all had to leave the building one day while the brigade closed it. And my mate from Ireland was staying over.
Dinner was ruined.
And he came out as well because we all had to like gather at the fucking meeting point or whatever. And he wouldn't even look at me. And I said to my mate, because that's the prick that's making all the noise. And my mate was like, the following day, he was like, yeah, man, I was here for 3 hours when I was in London. And he goes, I heard him. And yeah, he's annoying. I think he's probably doing it like, it got to the point, you know, where you say to someone, like, can you stop doing that? And then they say, oh yeah, I will do. But deep down there, they don't give a fuck. Like, he
did you never think about
like
trying? I know. Then you get into sort of neighbour wars. Did you never think about going like for like and start, you know, taping speakers to the ceiling and shit?
Well, no, because I'm not.
Just like a subwoofer under his
you know
bed.
What? Like I thought to myself, what could I do to annoy him? But then I was thinking about one day parking in his parking space.
Yes.
Oh,
but then that's my car. Then like,
but then it goes on forever. Then
Hire
I'll be
a
on
car,
Channel
long
5.
term.
You know, slum landlords and nightmare tenants.
Yeah,
it's just like in Leafy, St Albans.
Yeah.
Comedian Andrew Ryan is having problems with his upstairs overweight neighbour and his Labour building that he lives in.
I don't think they'd refer to his weight.
No, I don't know why I'm bringing it up.
Fat neighbour. Very high BMI.
I don't know why this is brought up, to be honest. It's making me come across, but I didn't like.
What, so how did
no,
it
but
resolve?
this is the thing. When you dislike somebody, you like
everything about
his
everything about the way he walked.
His brown eyes.
He used to, when he walked, he'd like overpronate so that he'd waddle.
Oh,
you know, like he'd webbed feet or something.
Guy,
like,
man. Absolutely
he
hate
sounds
this guy.
like a cunt.
Oh, hated him. And do you know what the best thing about it was? I was back in the apartment block about 6 months ago, and he obviously had a big garden upstairs.
Yeah,
all his garden furniture.
There's a garden upstairs.
There's a garden out the back.
A big
penthouse,
balcony.
Like, there's a penthouse. Like I was living in a small one bed,
Nice
and all the
roof
furniture was
garden.
gone. He's obviously gone. Like could have lost his job in the pandemic. Yeah, there's karma.
Yeah, there we go.
He probably was kind of a bit of an insecure guy trying to get friends by having a house party.
Twice a week.
Yeah,
How many friends do you need? Julian, I have like 5. I don't need that. But you got to have good neighbours.
So he moved out and then it was good.
No, I moved out.
Oh, so he's...
I got sick of it. I went on for months and months and months, and I
Was your partner...
I'm very noise sensitive.
How was your missus about it? Was she...
Well, she lived 2 miles away, so she
Oh,
wasn't living with
okay.
me. She was actually over with her mum at the
So
time.
what's your
She can
current
still hear
neighbour
him.
situation? You're back in St Albans.
No, I'm actually back in Ireland. I'm in Belfast.
Right.
My neighbours in East Belfast,
Right.
in Loyalist, Unionist East Belfast, could not be any nicer.
There we go.
As I say, mate, I couldn't be any nicer. I just keep my head down.
Yeah.
Everyone's polite.
Your claver on.
Say nothing. Yeah.
Go out and do some murals.
Walk out with me Rangers top on, just trying to fit
Whole
in.
front of your house is painted with Bobby Sands.
That's a happy ending then.
But
Well, not really. You had to
Move twice.
I had to-
Arguably the most stressful thing you can ever do in your life.
Yeah, but I
to
moved
another
twice
country.
because of bad neighbours. And now whenever I see an apartment block with 2, if I'm walking somewhere and I see an apartment block and I see 2 balconies close to each other,
Yeah.
it just comes
Shudder.
straight back to me.
That's
There's nothing you can
PTSD.
do. Can you not, like, I know, because obviously sound must travel out. If you soundproof that middle, even just that little bit of bookmark
It's
type
gonna be
thing,
hard,
it's
innit?
still going to, you're not, you'll help, but it won't
Is it
be.
a modern flat, modern build? Because the walls are so
Built in
thick.
early 2000s, so under the Labour government, yeah. When they were like bringing them up, you know, like they were
Yeah.
bringing the apartments up, they were like quick builds.
Not mentioning government, not to get, we're not going to, not joking wise, but the news, literally saw the news just before we came in here, a politician got murdered, mate, actual stabbed to
I
death.
don't know anything about it. But,
Well, no, it's breaking news, mate.
but what was the motive?
No one knows. Basically, some nutters gone in where they're doing surgeries where they meet their constituents.
It popped up in a WhatsApp group. Somebody just said this is, but it was off topic. I just thought, what's that? I don't know why they posted it.
That's just breaking news, isn't it? It's a big news story.
It's going to be like
It's going to kick off.
It's just getting it's been getting nasty for a while the way people talk to each other. I don't have a Twitter account, and I'd say you wouldn't be surprised if a lot of this is done from online.
You said something when we talked we mentioned it on the way in. I think it was very true. Where you said like imagine a Tory MP got killed 10 years ago. You'd be like, it's definitely some like ultra left nutter, right? But I do think the way it's gone, it could be anyone, innit?
Be anyone.
Now you actually think it could be a nutter from any side.
Could be one
because there's going to
of
be
those
right wing
guys.
people who think these Tories are now sort of cultural Marxists and trying to push the trans agenda. It's like, people that have just gone mad. So they think the Tories are left wing.
Yeah.
And then I mean, I think it's so many. yeah, it's gone.
It's
took
very
me out
sad.
of the
Like,
old
I
house.
just
It's
look,
horrible.
like I hate the left and I hate the right. I hate anything
What
that's
about the
far
middle?
left, I'm in the middle. I'm a bit like, look, relax.
I'm
like,
a bit
just
like
chill out.
that.
There's no need to be fucking having a go at someone. Like, we all make mistakes. We all get things wrong.
You don't dehumanise someone and
Do you know
think
what I mean?
they should die. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, on
I'd be a
any
bit
side.
rich as a couple of vegans, just being like, yeah, that fucking guy should die.
Yeah,
Can't even
exactly.
eat a fucking sausage
Before
but because I think it's murder, and I'm like, but that guy can fucking die.
But that's
Yeah.
what some fanatics, even vegan fanatics, are like that, aren't they? Like
Oh.
they can kill someone who works in an abattoir.
Do you know what? I eat meat, and I massively reduced the amount of meat I've been eating because I've gone, okay, I understand it, and I looked into it, and I thought, but it's one of those things where it's like when I gave up smoking, wanted to give up, but I wasn't in the right frame of mind to give up, and now with meat, it's a bit like, or I'm going to have a pasta tonight with just non-meat in it, whatever. Like, what do you have?
Non-meat vegetables, you mean? So they're not called non-meat.
I had 6 pints last night.
Oh, that's my main food source.
It's the non-meat food. But like before, sometimes you get up and you'd have sausages and rashers if you're hungover and stuff like that. Now I get up, it's simply cereal, bran flakes, and then just vegetable soups for lunch. I'm trying to actively every pizza I have now is all vegetarian.
Yeah.
Like, it's just those changes. But I know that maybe in a year's time, it'll be like, oh, I only ate meat once this month. It's getting better. But if you force it down someone's mouth, they're more likely to reject what you're saying.
Yeah, of course. You know,
know?
ultimately you can't change anyone. They've got to change themselves.
It's an inside job.
That was quite a nice moment.
Yeah.
Watch YouTube to see me look at that. Say that.
How long have you been vegan now, Carl?
8 years.
And was it hard at the start?
No, well, it was harder than it is now because when I went vegan, it just wasn't as many options.
You were doing it before it was cool.
Well, yeah, I did it just before it was cool. It's that thing like I reckon
You're always
it was
ahead of the game, you
I am
Carl,
always
you know
always
that?
1 year.
Always ahead of the game.
Yeah, which means I do miss out on reaping the rewards. I do it for the right reason, but don't get any of the benefits. But I reckon it was probably about 2015. I reckon was when it had that sort of boom, and it suddenly became like there was vegan restaurants popping up everywhere, all over London. Like, so I reckon I was probably about 18 months.
What made you do it?
Just a change of sort of ethos,
Mindset.
Yeah, I think I always was aware that. Yeah, it always sat a bit uncomfortable with me that what I ate, but I just never had the impetus to do it. And
especially from an Irish family as well.
Oh man, like
stew, the meat, the pork.
Oh yeah, love it.
Mate, especially like growing up in
Sausages.
Ireland, like the meat, now bacon. My mother used to, when I used to get to what we have for dinner on a Monday, mixed grill. Tuesday, steak and chips.
It's a mixed grill, like a fryer.
Just all different meats.
What are we having on Friday? Fish. What are we having Saturday? Chinese takeaway, chicken curry, beef curry. What are we having Sunday? Roast.
It's
I wanna
full on,
move
isn't it?
in, mate.
How long are you vegan?
Probably where was I? I think it was about 2015, actually.
Yeah. Just when it got trendy.
Yeah,
just
yeah, but
jumped
I
on
didn't
that.
know
back.
You're like
I-
6 months behind Carl and everything.
I
because-
initially did it because I was like looking at nutrition and health and stuff like that. And that was the main. I was in Brighton. I didn't plan it. It was on my mind a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, I grew up vegan.
That's what I'm saying.
basically.
It takes time. The brain
Yeah.
has to be.
Yeah, yeah.
It takes time before that behaviour becomes normal. Like when you go for food now, when you start, you were like, right, I can't have any meat.
Yeah.
But now you doesn't even register.
Yeah.
It was quite easy for me. I grew up kind of on my mum's, except for like milk. I was basically vegan. I didn't really have meat anyway. So it wasn't like a mad change. I felt like I started to eat like my mates when I was about 14. Like fry-ups. I never had fry-ups before and stuff like that. So
Right.
it weren't that hard.
No.
My mum eats like, since I've been learning about nutrition, it's basically gone back round like, what she was giving me when I
Right.
was 6.
Right.
Like
Okay.
chickpeas and like...
Yeah. My mum wouldn't know what a chickpea was, mate.
Irish mums.
Oh, she wouldn't know. The only beans
that down,
she
you
would
get that down, you know.
would be baked beans.
Oh.
I never had, even baked beans, I wouldn't have proper baked beans. I'd have like proper beans on toast.
Right, what, homemade?
Yeah.
Oh shit, my mum wouldn't.
Oh, I love beans on toast, mate. With a
remember
spaghetti
first-
on toast.
So, but I would say like, I had beans on toast in a hotel breakfast a couple of weeks ago.
I used to love it.
And it's the first time I'd had it. I can't even remember the last time. Years, right? And it was fucking delicious.
Yeah.
Like, I'd had a few beers
There's
and
just
that
so much
before, and
sugar
it's
in it, isn't
perfect.
there? In like Heinz beans.
Do you ever have like a crisp sandwich?
I have
I used to-
now and
Potato
again.
crisps.
Now and again, very rarely.
Love
though.
a crisp
I used to
sandwich.
like a
It's
pizza
so, you do feel like
sandwich.
such a savage though when you eat it. Do you
Oh,
not think when you eat a
dirty.
crisp sandwich, you're like, this is fucking. I
A
feel
lot
like,
of butter on it. And
remember like Harry Enfield and Friends, the slobs. I
Yeah.
feel like them just tucking into a crisp sandwich.
Do you know I never had my first Indian curry until I was 28?
It's unacceptable.
Because in Ireland we don't have a lot of Indians.
No, yeah, I know, yeah.
So, like,
But it's
when I
the
came
fact-
over-
that's that
when I came
age
over-
is unbelievable.
Did
The
it blow
Chinese
your
is
mind?
massive. in
First
Ireland,
thing,
like.
what was the first thing you did when you got off the plane? Run to a curry house.
Vindaloo, please.
No, I had it in Manchester in Rusholme, which is like the Curry Mile.
Yeah.
And I was 27, 28, and I was going out with some people and said, we're going for a curry. But I'd have a curry. People said, do you want a curry in Ireland? I think it's a Chinese chicken curry.
Yeah.
Because like Indian food, like it's getting very popular now in Ireland. But, you know, the late mid-90s, early 2000s, never had it. And your man was like, he brought over these poppadoms. And I thought they were like, oh, massive prawn crackers. You know, like I didn't know what they were. And I didn't like it at all because I didn't have the taste for it and the spice and all that. And I never had it then for maybe another couple of years.
Do you like them now?
I love them now.
Right.
But people had to teach me, like, people had to take you out and
Yeah,
go, right,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
what you should have. And have,
Yeah.
like the naan bread, garlic naan.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
my God. It's unbelievable.
My mate Garrett, I don't know if I've told this on here before. He
I need a tissue. Could
he
you throw me that
wants.
blue roll?
You need some of the big.
Oh, thanks, man.
There we go. We got some tissues for
We don't have
Julian.
to edit this, do we?
That's all
Thanks,
right.
man.
Let's leave it in, mate. It was all that coke you did pre-record.
Gonna waste this cocaine.
This is a new thing since we moved into a studio. Just us
Anyone want a line?
just rack up pre-record. That is not true, by the way. I'm a father now. But my mate Garrett, he just doesn't like curries, but like he likes going to Indian restaurants with mates and stuff.
What
but,
does he have there?
Well,
Brings his sandwiches.
the worst. He once ordered 50 poppadoms, and he was like they're just like crisps, aren't they? I'll get through them. I swear to. Have you ever tried to like sort of challenge yourself to see how many poppadoms you can eat? Because normally you get a plate of like
Five, 4 or
between
5,
a few
yeah.
of you, and they go like nothing. Like you
Dip
think
them
I
in
could
the
eat
little
loads.
sauces and all
but
that.
you feel like you could. You always feel like I could eat way more of them. So he just assumed I'll be able to eat 50, and he genuinely got through. I reckon 6, and had to take like 44 home.
Imagine walking with 44.
yeah.
There's stuff he could have dipped it in, I suppose. It's all curry, he doesn't like.
Well, no, but he likes dipping it in the
The
mango
lime
chutney
pickle,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But he basically it's the only thing he really likes in a curry house. So, but he overshot his estimate.
I have
mate,
slipped up
by
a few
so far.
times in that 5 years, though, with
Have you?
fish and stuff, yeah.
By accident or like out of
Once
necessity?
by
Yeah, he went
once by-
swimming and one swam into his mouth.
Oh, we just had a cod.
Once, when I first became vegan, a few weeks in, I ordered a pizza, and it said a vegetable pizza, but I didn't know that cheese is already on it.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was just
yeah,
a
yeah,
given
yeah.
that cheese.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm halfway through I was at Corrie Shaw's house in
Yeah, yeah,
Manchester, talking about being a vegan, and she went, "That pizza's got cheese on it," but I'd eaten half of it without even thinking.
Yeah.
And in Edinburgh, I did mackerel a couple of times.
I love it. I did mackerel.
Yeah.
I did mackerel.
Yeah, I've slipped up like a handful of times.
Yeah,
Have you slipped up?
Only accidentally. Like
And you killed that
for
pig.
about when I fucking shot an arrow through a deer. For a period I used to eat Percy pigs, the ones that said like vegetarian Percy pigs.
They're
Didn't
not
realise
vegan.
they're not vegan. They've got like beeswax or
pork.
something.
God.
But there was that so I was eating them. I reckon for the first 4 years of being vegan.
Do you feel guilty if you mess up?
But the only one, and I accidentally had milk about 3 years ago, and
Accidentally
shat
had
and
milk.
vomited like a madman.
Like the body is just
my body,
can't take that.
Developed a full-on.
What are you, almond milk now or soy milk?
This
or
one is.
oat milk?
I've gone for an oat milk today.
Right.
Oat milk's good, yeah.
Yeah, I like oat milk.
I do almond on cereal and stuff.
I tell you what, I do almond on Sundays. I do almond on Sundays. Do
Almond.
oat on
Is it
Sunday.
almond?
I say
I say
almond.
almond.
I say
But
almond.
I think it's almond.
Right. One of the most what's the word?
Tight.
Intensive farming things. Not very good for the environment, almonds.
I don't know.
Well, because basically they grow on a tree, and each one is inside its own fruit. So every almond you eat, like a bag of almonds is like a whole tree's worth.
That's a lot of
You
fucking
look
trees.
shocked.
Jesus.
I've eaten
Why are they so
I've eaten her
cheap then?
fresh because the world is built on.
Slave labour.
Well, yeah, like it is. It's just there'll be
Delicious.
endless farms of it somewhere.
Am I going to see you guys on Insulate Britain next week or something?
Definitely.
Like that? No, like,
That is- I mean,
Sitting in front of your car on the way to a gig.
Here's
It's only a middle 15, mate.
they're a perfect example of sometimes where I'm like, when people are so definite about their opinions
hate
and stuff,
it.
but like I see what they're doing and I agree in concept with what they're saying, but I still have that part of me that that grew up.
Get out the nurse's way, man.
Well, what I mean, but even that, if I was in that car, like, I'd agree with them, but I'd still want to get out and kick their head in.
Mate,
Do you know what I mean? It's that
People
weird.
have been
I think
dragging
the
them off the road,
intentions-
haven't they?
Yeah.
What do you think? And I'm not saying this is what they should do because I genuinely do think they've got a point, but surely the way to fix it is the police. Like, you get all the angry blokes who want to punch them, but the police are there, right? The police say to the angry guys, we're going to change shift in a minute. There'll probably be a 5-minute window
And
before the other lot get here.
And I was
You know,
looking
see
the other
him
way.
from-
I was
and
looking
then,
the other way.
and they just have a little shift break, and then them people get
You get
fucking-
5
get their
minutes
head
then.
caved in
Oh,
by
is
some
that what
nutters.
they're doing?
No, that's what that would be
75-year-old.
my.
Yeah,
if I was
yeah,
the
yeah,
police, just
Saying-
defer responsibility for 5
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
There you go. Off you go. 5-minute amnesty. Go for it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
wonder how police hours work though. If they're in the middle of something, they can't go. This is my lunch. Just
No,
chasing
I know.
a burglar.
In Ireland, the police shifts are 6 a.m. to 2,
Yeah,
2 o'clock to 10,
right,
and 10 to 6.
right.
So you start at 6. So if you're ever driving,
Can you get your
and
crime
go,
in on the lunch break?
If you're ever driving at like night time, you go, 10 o'clock is shift over. So
Right.
they're all in.
But then would
again-
you not get the new eager ones coming in trying to
Well, so-
catch you?
well,
and shit?
well,
They're
yeah.
full of beans, aren't they? They've
Yeah.
had their dinner and watched an episode of something. Now they're out on the beach.
So did the bill.
I got stopped speeding in Dublin about 2 years ago, and
Weren't fast
the speed
enough,
limit in
mate.
Ireland's 76 miles an hour, it's 120 kilometres.
Yeah,
And I was doing one. There's nobody on the road. I was doing one. I got one of those where I just sneaked up to like 140,
yeah. Ooh,
right, which is about 85 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
yeah.
Anyway,
Nice.
phew, 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 pulled in. I was like, right, attitude.
Didn't
is
he have a
king.
proper?
Yeah. Phew, 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 phew. So I was thinking, right, attitude test. If you pass the attitude test, you've got a good chance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the guy comes up and a young fella now, probably younger than me. Like I was like, here we go. And usual. And I said, oh yeah, guilty as charged, officer. Sorry about that. Guilty as charged. And he went, geez, we're going fairly fast there, no? He goes, I was. I said, and what's the reason for that? He goes, I've no excuse. Guilty as charged.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
went, okay, fair enough. Took out the licence, English driving licence in Ireland. And as soon as he looked at it, he went, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he went back.
The
He goes-
hassle of
he just went back and he goes,
admin.
right, what'll happen is you won't get any points, but you get an €80 fine.
Yeah.
Just pay the fine, there's no points. And I was like, result.
Why
Yeah,
didn't he?
yeah.
Why he didn't like the English?
Because it's an English license, so he knew that there's no, you can't put points
Ah.
on an English. Now they say that there's a parallel system.
Well, it's
coming
like in
but-
Europe. Even in Europe, you can't really, you can't really get busted in Europe for driving
Yeah.
badly. The points don't come back to you. Over here, they say there's a way of doing it, but apparently it never happens. So if you get
Yeah.
caught speeding anything, like you'll be fine.
I've been on 2 speed awareness courses.
So have I.
2.
Yeah. You haven't
Like, and I
fucking
was
learned
like,
your
back
lesson.
again. Like, you know what I mean?
How did you find them?
I walked in and it was a bit like everyone was like embarrassed to be there, sort of. Like, and then the one question the guy said at the start was like, why do we speed? And I just went to beat the sat nav.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
got a laugh. And then as soon as I spoke in the little tea break, 3 people come up to me. What part of Ireland are you from? Because
Yeah.
my mum's from Donegal and my dad's from Kerry. And I'm like, fucking, here we go.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did it twice. But the guys running it, I found them hilarious. They're like, why do we speed?
Yeah, yeah.
Why do we need
It strikes me as
speed?
the same sort of people that are like driving instructors.
And
Those
you know-
people that are
you know-
sticklers for like.
Do you know if a driving instructor gets 3 penalty points, they lose their job?
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking brutal.
You
mate.
can't
Even
you can't have
3?
points on your A driving instructor cannot have penalty points. You have to have a clean license.
Oh my god.
Imagine that, like on your day off, like shitting yourself.
Yeah.
I had
Getting
12
caught.
points for a while.
Did you?
You're not even
Have you
allowed.
not hear this? This is unbelievable. You told it before, but like this blows my mind.
So you
And
must
it-
have been banned.
No.
No, I
So
went.
you went 3, 6, 9, 12, right?
You get 9, and then 12's a ban, isn't it? But I went to court to say I need it for my livelihood. So they let you.
Apparently that's all right, is it?
What do you
If
say?
other people are going to be affected by your income, they let me keep it. But I knew that if I got done again,
Yeah.
they're not going to do that again.
So what does he say to you? You
Just
can
now
have
I
12,
drive
keep
like
your
a
license.
bus.
Yeah, so I can keep driving. Yeah.
What was the fine?
It was a fine. I can't remember. It was years ago.
You must have got a couple of £100 fine.
I think it was about £250 because you pay like court fees and that.
I got off a summons once.
What's
I
the
got
summons
to court.
For what?
Speeding.
Right.
They didn't deliver the summons correctly.
I love it. I
Rizzo.
love a loop. Do you ever? What's that guy? That Mr. Loophole. Do you know that lawyer?
mate.
He always you always see him in the paper, like looking after David Beckham's been caught speeding again.
And David
Mr.
Beckham comes
Loophole
out of
gets
court
them off.
as if like he was the one that's been wronged.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. That guy, and like he admits, that lawyer does, that he's totally taken advantage of like.
But
the
it's within
loophole.
the law.
It's
That's
within the law,
point,
but he
isn't it?
he admits. He goes, "Look, I'm not doing anything.
Well,
I'm
the
not
way-
saying these
the-
people have done nothing wrong. I'm saying that the police need to do their job better, otherwise we're going to get them
Yeah.
off."
Basically,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
happened
yeah.
was
That's fair enough.
due process. I got caught, forgot about it. Genuinely did forget about it. Then a summons arrived to the door, and what happened was I was stopped in my mum's car, and the car was obviously registered to my mum's house.
Yeah, yeah.
She's the keeper. I gave them my address in England.
She got put in prison, wasn't
Yeah, she got 6 months.
Fucking touch,
Hard
mate.
time, mate. Hard times. She was in segregation for 5. But what happened was, instead of them sending the summons to my address in England, which I couldn't ignore because I'm not in the jurisdiction of the court,
Yeah.
they send it to me mother, which is a breach of data because I've not been convicted.
Yeah.
So I contacted.
How did you know that was?
Because my mother rang me. There's a fucking summons here for you.
But how did you know that was out? That was not allowed. What they did.
Because my dad told me he did law.
Oh right, that's fine.
Your dad's a lawyer.
No, he just studied a bit of law.
Oh, that's good.
We've all studied a bit. Of
Called Google a bit of law.
when do you start your law degree?
I've started.
You're
the
doing a
access
law
course.
degree.
Yeah.
And you've 12
An
penalty points.
access course.
I've not got 12 anymore. I've got 0.
Oh, you're back to 0.
Yeah, this was a few years ago.
Oh wow!
He went back
So you've
to
been-
court and just
you-
said, "Can you wipe them off?" And
You've been clean.
upsetting
How long,
me.
how long, how long,
Magistrate
how long have you
off.
been clean now? Been going clean
got-
for how long?
It's got to be a few years.
When you're in a 30 and doing 33, do you go, ooh?
Yeah, I do. I get a bit. It taught me to drive within
Badly
the limit
and slow.
Yeah, like I'm a 68 miles an hour guy on the
Oh, yeah.
motorway. Yeah,
That's good for the miles per hour. You save more petrol when you're driving at
Who's
60.
that? I got a lift back from Bristol.
sometimes I'll hit 80 here and there.
I got a lift back from Bristol with Clint Edwards last Saturday.
Yeah.
Lovely guy, Clint, very funny man. He's a real, he ain't going
Miles to the
anywhere
gallon,
near the speed limit. I'm talking, he's knocking around
What, under
60
it?
the whole way. So it's that thing where, like, yeah, and obviously there's a petrol crisis, so I presume it was to preserve fuel. Apparently, is
£1
it
left
58 or
petrol.
something is the most economical
56,
speed?
I think.
56.
Depends which car as well. I bet.
I think the average that
Yeah,
works out
yeah,
the
yeah.
average, but it is and I'm very thankful for the lift home. But when you're a passenger and somebody is on a motorway doing like 56 miles an hour, you are sitting there going, "Fucking come on, mate!
Now, bruv, the off is gonna
Do you
close, bruv.
want me to drive, bro?"
Oh, like I'm very lucky I have a car, but I'd be very selective over who I'd give a lift to.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? In terms of like, I've gotten lifts off people and it's been brilliant. And you go, "Oh, what do you want petrol money?" And they go, "Oh, give us a tenner." Give them 15 or 20. At the end of the day, they're the one getting tired. They're the
Yeah,
ones
yeah,
cars
yeah,
getting
yeah,
wear
yeah.
and tear.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of people that don't do that, man.
No.
Disrespectful.
There was a guy, I won't name him, but he famously would ask for so much petrol money. Like, they'd do a journey to Manchester
just give me
and back.
110.
No, but it'd be like Manchester and back, might be, 30 quid's petrol, 40
Yeah.
quid, say 40 quid top, depending if you got what sort of car you got. There'd
And
be,
you can round it up a bit because there's the.
but there
wear
was
and
like
tear.
3 of them in the car. So imagine that would work out between everyone. Say you'd say, chuck me a tenner each, right? They get back to London and he was like, right, everyone chuck me like 30 quid or something. And they were all like, what? Like, what are you
120
talking
quid.
about? And he goes, and they were like, you put 30 quid's petrol in it. And he just went, yeah, but it ain't just the petrol, is it? I've got to pay for, I pay the insurance, depreciation on the car. He just reeled off all
He
the
went
costs
over an
of
Excel
running a car.
spreadsheet.
Yeah. And he tried to say that they got, which I sort of, again, on a technical level, he's probably right, but that is not on, is it?
Yeah, but that's the
Nah.
kind of guy you don't want to be in a car with again. Though.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it is crazy. I once got a lift with a comic at a gig when I was starting out, and we were driving to the gig, and he pulled in for petrol, and he
Yeah.
put in £10, and then he drove an hour later and stopped at another petrol
my
station
God.
and put in another £10. I said, "Why did you just put in fucking 20
Yeah.
back there?" Like, I just didn't understand that. Why did you just put in 20?
What do you?
Do you know what I mean? I had someone then that wanted to backs me over.
What was that noise?
Don't know. I had someone kind of wanted to backs me over the £15 for the
Yeah,
petrol.
yeah.
And then the other guy in the car went, "That's actually a cash point there, mate. You can go and do it." And then when he went up and gave me the cash, when the money comes out of the cash point, it's straight.
Yeah.
He handed it to me. It was rolled.
Right.
it was in his pocket.
Oh, you filth
Had the money, all right.
Saucy
But then I'm going to
devil.
fax
Who
it
is
over
it?
to. I'm not naming him. No,
We'll
come
bleep
on.
it. Oh,
no,
that's
not
okay.
name. But
Yeah,
honestly,
tell me his name and I'll tell just our patrons. Patreon.com/we
And that-
Have you ever got any bad?
I've had. You know when they tell you how much the petrol is,
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
do this long ass journey, and they go, "What was that? About a £5?"
Yeah.
Drive to Cornwall and back.
Yeah.
isn't there a comic out there that just goes, "I don't pay petrol"?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
We know. I think I never met him, but I've heard about it.
You can, drop him at the bus stop, mate.
Yeah, I got, what's the worst lifts? I remember I once got a lift with an act who just before setting off back from like Exeter just did a line of coke, off the fucking bonnet of the car, and this was like
For a car journey.
For a car journey, yeah. it was. I'm gonna beat that. For legal
bonnet
reasons,
of the
I'm gonna
car.
have to beat that, obviously, because I don't want to get him to get in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
I've never met
I want him to know and kill me.
I forgot cocaine's illegal for a minute.
But that was like, I remember that being fucking.
But you know that if your car is pulled over, you're
Yeah.
done as well because there's drugs in your vehicle.
I mean, they weren't. They were fucking up his nose.
But he must have had some left over.
Everybody.
Like,
That
you know what I mean?
that guy got done in Dubai, didn't he, recently?
He's in prison, yeah.
24 years for having 2 bottles of CBD.
CBD. I read about this.
They weren't even his, they were his mate.
That is-
He's like a PT.
CBD.
They've,
Imagine doing a fucking quarter life stretch.
No, the government.
For something you can buy in Holland and Barrett. It's fucking brutal, mate.
What are you in for, mate?
Lemongrass tea bags.
Yeah, for-
Fucking, I had a gram of chia seeds on me.
But he's got. Apparently, they bet the shit out of him in prison as well.
Well, they forced him to sign the
In Arabic.
admission, yeah.
Yeah.
That shit would like.
I met a guy
the
that
government have
spent.
got to step in on that, ain't they?
I met a guy that spent 6 weeks in a Dubai prison for.
You did?
No, I met a guy. Yeah,
Oh.
Scottish radio TV presenter. He was presenting out there, and I was doing a show, and he told me.
Eamon Holmes.
And no, Eamon Holmes is.
Oh, he's not Scottish.
He's not Scottish. But he was breaking up a fight.
Yeah.
And because he was there, he was put in, and then he got released after like 6 weeks. And he just said, like,
How was
yeah,
he
like,
breaking it up though with a lot of high kicks?
No, what happened was he
Pool
saw.
cue.
He saw.
He's breaking up with nunchuckers,
He's throwing CBD oil at everyone. Like.
with acid.
He was breaking up basically an Emirati man. Was
And a Marathi.
an Emirati, yeah.
Oh, from
a
Emirates.
local,
Yeah.
a
We're
local
banned
was-
in the
was
Emirates.
Was
aren't we?
hitting. Was
Oh,
hitting,
we are.
We're
was hitting
banned
a
in the
woman.
UAE.
Our patrons
Sitting
got
in a-
banned in the UAE.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of Julian's filthy mouth. It's just what we do. We've probably covered some topics that apparently are not allowed in the UAE.
Yeah.
Sort of like anti-slavery chat.
Sorry to our UAE friends.
But yeah, he was an Emirati was beating up his Emirati wife. And he, as a Westerner, went in and apparently you let them at it.
Apparently, it's illegal to stop somebody hitting a woman in the Middle East.
I would have served that time with pride though.
Yeah,
He did the
yeah.
right thing, innit?
He said it was all right in there. It's pool tables and everything. He said it was
Really?
actually all right. He said it wasn't. He said it was like a holding prison before a prison. If you know what I mean.
I got into a little dust up in Dubai.
In a Dubai prison.
But luckily, I was there, so I was doing the gigs. I don't know if I've told this on here before, actually. Maybe not. but
Laughter Factory.
I was doing a Laughter Factory gigs, which are a
Great
run
gigs.
of shows in the sort of UAE.
Yeah.
And I went to a bar called Barasti afterwards. Great
Down
bar
by the
down on
beach?
the beach.
For some
I was
puss-puss.
taken there with by some
Couple of hookers.
Some
Couple of dirty hookers. God, I love you so much.
they
God.
were.
Couple of nasty girls.
There we go. Only took about 40 minutes for it to happen, but Julian's on the prosy chat.
Sorry.
But I got taken there by some of the audience members that we'd been drinking with after the show, and it was great fun, and we were they're buying us countless drinks, and then somebody, as we were leaving the bar, I saw a guy pissing in a bush, and I thought he's going to get in trouble. So I went over to say to him,
Pushed
mate,
him in the bush with your foot.
Let's pull his trousers down. I went over to but I sort of jokingly I can't remember what I said. I was pissed, but I said something to him about him pissing in a bush that I thought was funny
was an English
and
guy,
also
was
a
he?
warning, yeah. And for his own safety. And then he just turned around and sort of went for me and called me like a cunt. And I just retaliated And next thing you know, we're like sort of
Really?
grabbing each other and rolling around. And then
Fucking hell.
and then this
Was his pants up?
Was
and
this
everything,
Willie
like?
away?
I bit it off, mate. But no,
Little soft wet Willie flapping around.
That's why you turned
little
vegan.
piss droplets
You
flying
kept
around
feeling it
mate.
on your arm. Or...
But luckily, one of the guys I was drinking with, he was this big rugby guy. The moment it sort of went physical, he grabbed me and like physically picked me up, like in a bear hug.
Held you like a baby for a little while.
No, he did the bit. Like he opened a taxi door, threw me in the back, and just told the driver to get me out of there. So I'm still basically flapping arms. I'm in the back of a taxi, and then we're just driving up the road, and I totally calmed down and realised what the gravity of the situation was if I'd been caught.
And you never saw those people ever again?
I'd never saw them again. No,
You could have been locked up in some
would have been
Dubai jail.
done, mate. Imagine that.
Can you imagine that? Breaking news on Carl Donnelly.
Carl Donnelly.
There'd be some comics out there
UAE.
be going, oh, see where he was gigging next week. I'll see if I'm available.
There'll be a few openings at Top Secret this week.
There is comics like that though to go, oh, so-and-so's ill. Let's have a look and see.
Oh,
they're
yeah,
gigging.
yeah.
Go on their website, see where they're
I remember
gigging.
taking Cogs's gigs, a couple of gigs.
Really?
It just felt really weird, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Did you not send the money to the kids?
Contacted the promoters that night after he
Yeah,
died.
of course, yeah.
Called them up.
Just looked at the diary.
That's crazy.
It's
I nearly got in a fight in Dubai myself with an audience member after the gig in the Movenpick.
Yeah.
And Kerry Marks was there and Marcus Birdman, and we
In
sorted
Dubai,
it.
this was again.
Yeah, no, it didn't. It was he did. This guy took offence to a question I asked the audience. I said, "Have you got any Irish people in?" And this woman said, "I'm from Ireland." I goes, "Whereabouts are you from?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm from Derry." And I went, "All right." And I was like, "Have we got any Southern Irish in?"
yeah.
And he said to me afterwards, like the woman was fine, but he said to me afterwards, she said she was Irish. I goes, yeah, she is Irish.
Yeah.
But she lives in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
I was looking for somebody in the south,
Yeah.
different country, like. Yeah, but the fact that she says she's Irish is good enough. And I was like, that's not the issue.
He
Piss
wanted
off.
a fight, didn't
Piss
he?
off.
So he wanted a fight, but you know what he did? He came to the show the following night to try and look for me again. Like.
Should have nutted him.
Me and Kerry Marks were playing
his
pool.
name on the door,
We were
yeah.
playing pool, you know, in that pool bar in
Yeah.
Movenpick. And so he asked us for a game of pool then to kind of calm things down. So we played a game of pool with him. And I was just like, you know, he's the classic bald fucking English man, big fucking guy.
What,
like, just
expat?
Yeah, just like, yeah, I'm working in fucking finance. And you're just like, mate, you're miserable. Like, you're out here, you're boring.
Yeah.
You know, it's good for a week. But it's, you know, he coming to comedy 2 nights in a row, like the same show. How sad is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have to do it, but they don't.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's just annoying, man. Like people like that, like even like, you know, gigs.
Did it
and stuff.
almost get into a fight?
Yeah, like we were kind of like, no, I was quite reserved. I said, listen, being from Derry and being Irish is correct, but she's not from the south of Ireland.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
asking, is any English in Liverpool, any Southern English in? It's similar
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that, is
yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, no, like yeah, it's just like saying, like if I said like, it's just I was trying to do a reference joke to the euro money.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
money in the north is sterling.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
I needed somebody in the
Oh,
south.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But
You're like, I'm just trying to get to this joke I've written.
Shut up.
I don't want to be nutted, mate.
yeah, I know. I've seen a fight in the audience in Dubai though.
What is it with Dubai?
A guy brought a prostitute to the gig and was there with his friends, and the friends objected to this guy bringing a prostitute, and basically it kicked off after the second act. And all I remember was Duncan,
Yeah.
just like
Oakley.
saying Duncan, who runs the gig,
Yeah.
like breaking it up with Ken, and next thing, just this woman who was the prostitute, like just comes out, and she was just like. She just said like, "Oh, I'm very sorry, but very funny show," and just walked out. There's a big fight there. But if you get caught fighting there, man, you are in
Done.
serious
You're absolutely
trouble.
done, mate.
Mate, I
Years.
bet there's not many fights. Well, it sounds like there's a lot of fights.
Yeah, it's weird.
For somewhere where you get
There's
your
a-
hand cut off for it.
Get beheaded if you get caught in a fight. Everyone's having a,
Yeah, that's all very well, but who's he fucking looking at?
But the thing is, it's like there's like a little black market of fighting out there.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lot of stuff going on.
just
Yeah,
like bare
I don't
knuckle
know, you know.
car park shit, innit?
I'd love to go and
it's-
watch
Have you ever
something.
been to Dubai?
I have, yeah.
It's a weird place, man. I like it.
I went there for
dislike
like,
it.
I
It's-
think
I mean,
2
it's-
nights.
I do like. Do you know what? I like
just
the
stayed in the
sea, and I like the
hotel.
sun, and I like the hotel.
I don't like. I mean, it's all. Isn't it's not like it's
You get a bit desensitized to a gold Ferraris, though, don't you? It's a bit
Yes.
like, all right, every car's like a suit, like a nice, brand new.
Yeah.
The streets all look really clean.
Like
and
Singapore. You've been to Singapore?
No.
Or like they've got a rule. I think you can't have a car that's over 5 years old or something.
Can't have chewing gum either, can you?
You're not allowed. Yeah, chewing gum's illegal in the country.
Wow.
What, because of the
the pavements.
Yeah. So you can't drop it anyway. If you get caught like just even having chewing gum, I think you get in trouble.
What law would you bring into this country like that? Like the way you have strange laws like chewing gum in the UK?
Oh, but I'd ban homosexuality. No, I'm joking. I would
Straight over the bat, I want to ban it.
That's not me as God's rules, mate. Take it up with the big guy.
no, what would I do? What some of them? What other countries? I suppose. I don't know.
I don't like capital punishment.
No,
Like,
I don't.
You know, even like the Sarah Everard killer, you think, he should be murdered.
Yeah, but you can't. I don't
Yeah.
agree
No,
with.
he needs to. He needs
It's
to
not an
live.
eye for an eye,
No,
is
no,
it?
no.
I don't believe in that sort of
yeah,
system.
Because what if they're not guilty? Because that happens.
Exactly.
Mostly, but like, listen, you can go back to the 70s and 80s here. There was lots of cases where
When was
people
the
were
last capital punishment here then?
74, was it?
Yeah, who was it?
Was it a woman?
Yeah,
It was
what's
a
her
woman.
name? Oh,
The woman was
shit.
the last
Yeah,
one.
Google
The
it,
woman who
definitely.
shot her husband, because my uncle and aunt, then they took over the pub where the shooting happened. The bullet hole was in the wall.
She shot her husband.
Yeah.
Where was that?
Ruth
In
Ellis. Was it Ruth Ellis?
In
No.
Tooting.
No, it was in North London, wasn't it?
I'll find it. Last person executed in the UK,
Let's
I didn't think it'd be a woman.
1964.
64.
Ruth Ellis.
Ruth Ellis, that was it.
Don't know why it
Shot her
feels
husband.
worse.
Was a British escort and nightclub hostess.
There's been a lot of escort chat this episode.
God.
hasn't there?
Yeah.
She was hanged after a conviction of murder.
They
of
used
a
to
lover,
hang them at
David-
Marble Arch, didn't
David
they?
Blakely in Holloway Prison.
Where did she shoot her husband?
In the face.
Right in his fucking mouth.
Became a manager of a nightclub in Knightsbridge. Basically, what happened then is so the relationship with Blakely continued, however, became violent as Ellis continued to see other people. Blakely offered to marry her. She consented. She had a miscarriage because he punched her.
Oh God,
Jesus, this is crazy.
bad
And then
story.
basically what happened was he
shoot man up in the head.
shot him,
Nuts the
5 or
bread
6
up.
times.
Where was the shooting? It was in a pub in somewhere in North London.
The blind beggar.
It was stepped out of Henshaw's doorway at newsagents next to Magdala.
The Magdala. That was it. The Magdala.
Yeah, as Blakely searched for the keys to his car.
There was a
38
bullet
caliber.
hole
So your
outside
aunt and
on the
uncle
wall.
ran the pub,
They
did
ran the
they?
pub
And
for a
also your mum
while.
and dad ran a pub for a while.
They managed the pub. Yeah.
Shot him 5 times. First 2 missed.
Oh.
Fucking typical, innit? Give me that, babes.
But can you imagine, do you remember back in, 15 years ago, Saddam Hussein? They actually put it online.
I know, it's mad.
I saw the
I
hanging,
think
yeah.
being hung is one of the worst ones, isn't it?
That should be taken down, man.
He seemed pretty. I mean, I know he was.
He was.
That.
They
seemed
had him
brave when he was.
They
going,
had him
though, didn't
drugged
they?
up, man. They had him
Oh,
drugged
yeah.
up. He was on.
He
massive
looked like a
drugs.
shell of the man he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you would be. Imagine being the leader of a country and next thing you're being hiding in a ditch.
I read
and
his
then having hung.
biography. He was like a gangster, wasn't he?
Was he?
Just, yeah.
I don't know.
He was,
yeah,
he was
like
a
he-
hard bastard. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all ruled by fear, though,
Just
isn't it?
ruthless, man.
Ruled by
Yeah.
fear. You don't follow the line. You're out. You're out.
He loved Stalin, didn't he?
Did he?
He had the same.
We all love
That was
Stalin.
a bad sign, isn't it?
Love a bit of Stalin.
Yeah, I think I just want to check. All right, cool. We need to wrap it up shortly, but being hung. What would be your I know it's gross, but
Drowned.
worst. No, but I mean in terms of actual
Capital punishment.
capital punishment.
I don't know. The lethal injection's probably painful as fuck, isn't it?
What? I don't
it's
think-
supposed to be
It's meant to
quite-
be pain free.
I'd like to get wanked off to death.
I don't know. I don't think it'd be pretty hard. You'd be pretty used
Come
to
on
it.
in again, go again.
And it's a fella that comes in and does it. And
But-
Nice man hand.
What?
my biggest fear would be drowning.
But that's not a standard form.
What
of
I did
death.
with witches in the 60s,
Do you know what? I think
witches in the 90s.
I'd think shoot me. I'll take a bullet.
Oh, I don't know.
Do you remember that snuff film Faces of Death years ago?
Oh, I
watched
hated
it.
it.
When you see a man get shot close range and
brutal.
the monkey thing was fucking.
What was the monkey thing?
Oh, it was awful.
What was it though? No, you
Well, they
can't-
got that
you gotta tell us.
restaurant in I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong country, like Thailand. maybe.
Yeah.
And they bring the monkey out, so there's a hole in the middle of the sorry people.
Is
This is
do
brutal.
they eat its brains?
And they tap him with these little hammers.
Oh no.
Really
come
bad.
on.
No.
It's so horrible, and you
Not-
see him. You see him grip like. Oh
No.
But I don't know how it was edited, and it could have been bullshit
Right.
because it was edited, and then it close up on his hands and
I hate anything. I hate all that cruelty kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You know, it's really upsetting.
But you see a
like-
guy get shot in the face at close range,
I'd-
and just boom, boom.
I saw I must have said this. It's one. My cousin once sent me a video, and he sent it on an email.
So you shot him in the face.
Tried to shoot myself in the head, but it was a video. It literally the title, the subject matter was like, "You got to see this," and I was like, "Oh, it's going to be a
definitely don't
funny
gotta see
video
that.
of like some fucking cat or something." And it was a guy shooting himself in the head. He'd been arrested, brought into a holding cell. Was obviously whatever he'd been arrested for. He'd
Did he get a
definitely done
gun
it.
in?
And he had a gun in his sock, and he shoots himself in the head. And like, I just watched it and went cold, like proper cold.
Yeah, it's
And
brutal.
I just replied to my cousin like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
But your
sending me
cousin
that?"
saw that and went, Carl needs to
Yeah, like this.
Carl, do you know who's in a dark place at the moment, Carl?
Oh my god, man!
Need to pull him out this dark place
Yeah.
and send him.
Do you know what I get
Don't
caught?
send
Do you know what I
people
get
videos
caught
like
on
that.
now? I'm watching a lot of. You know, get caught on these YouTube loops.
I mean, we've talked about. I don't.
I'm
really
watching.
Watch YouTube.
I watched this one. Sovereign citizens in America refusing to cooperate with the police,
I
and
love
they're just
it.
smashing the windows. And because I'm a sovereign citizen, I'm not driving. I'm traveling. I have freedom to travel. Please, like license, registration.
What does
And then
that
like 2
mean,
minutes later, they're
sovereign?
smashing windows. Get out! You're arrested for failure.
Yeah,
they're like
yeah.
sovereign citizens. They don't feel they don't belong to any land.
Well, it's like the
It's kind of they're fucking lunatics.
during
It's like
lock-
Trump guys, you know, fucking mad.
during the lockdowns when that. Like there was people trying that were ignoring lockdown laws,
Yeah.
saying that it wasn't covered under the Magna Carta, and it's like that was like 1,000 years ago. I think there might have been
Probably
updated
a lot of
to-
things ain't covered.
Yeah. It's got like, you can't shoe your horse. On
I know.
a
I get
pavement
caught.
or
I get
something.
caught in a lot of these ones. I sit down and go, all right. I want to see a good bar fight. And I just type
I
in
do actually quite like bar
fights in
fight.
pubs. There's one
I
in
like seeing
Australia.
bullies get knocked the fuck
or
out.
Instant
man.
Karma. Do you ever watch Instant
Yeah,
Karma?
Instant
Karma's one I
ones?
think I follow
They
a
are
thing.
the best. Did you ever see the one in America where this guy was driving past a woman and she was filming him and he was like, "You stupid fucking bitch," and then he comes across in front of her and he just turns over.
Oh, quality.
So quality.
Right, and then
Just go straight and a train just takes their car out.
And then about a week later, she goes onto the TV because the footage was picked up,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
comes on like his car's just turned over. Like you see the whole thing, it's got millions of views.
Instant
And she was
karma.
just like, "Oh, he cut me up, and I flashed him or beeped him, and he like was all masculine and did all that kind of stuff, and then he loses control, and it was just a fuck. I love it.
Oh, have you seen the one? I think it's an Australian one about when he said about bullies. It's this little wiry little kid. I reckon they're only about 10.
I've seen it.
And, it's
And the big kid.
slapping the big kid like that, and the big kid body slams him.
That was a
so
brutal
hard
move.
that you hear it as he just
Yeah.
crashes into the ground.
And wasn't that kid brought on TV in Australia and given like a holiday or something
I
for
don't
standing up to the bully? He was brought on TV.
I
yeah.
love that. Just mash up someone.
Yeah.
Have a holiday.
But you see
man.
this little kid then, and he gets
Properly
but you
slammed.
can
He
hear
can't
his
even
back.
walk, man. He gets up and he's all sort of
Yeah.
doubled over.
It's lucky he was a kid could probably bit more
Well, they
rubbery,
bounce
aren't
around,
they? Yeah.
don't they?
I love seeing stuff
Probably
like that.
kill an old
Do you know
man.
what's a really good one to type in as well? Is
Just go, stay totally still.
Completely flat. No bounce.
Squad.
you should see this.
Splat like an egg.
There's a clip on YouTube. You should watch it. UFC fighters in the wild. Basically, fellas that pick fights with people and don't realise the guy they're picking a fight with.
I've
is a
watched
UFC
them.
fighter.
I've watched them all, man.
Mate, there's a guy. He takes his top off. To see that one, he's got the blue jeans on. And there's two guys, and you can tell he's a fighter just by the way he's bouncing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And he just goes straight for legs, lifts him, slams him, and as he slams him down, and then follows him with the
Oh,
punch.
man.
And you can see the people who are like, "Oh Jesus, what have we done?"
Yeah,
It is-
yeah.
And your man's standing there going, right, who's up? And you
yeah.
see everyone just gone.
There's that other. I remember that famous one that went around about 5 years ago of that guy walking with his girlfriend, like past,
And he knocked two guys out.
yeah, down a river, and one of them, I don't know what they do. Do they try and do something?
They
try
tried,
and rob
yeah,
him or something.
fighting him or
And he just like counter punches both of
He
them.
he had some good hands.
Oh,
didn't
man.
Fast hands, man.
Yeah,
And both of them just like dung dung. It's both on the grass.
he? That was so good.
That is amazing. I love people getting their arses handed to them. Like,
Yeah, when it's deserved, there's something quite cathartic about it. I
yeah,
suppose.
brilliant. It's really good fun.
We need to wrap it up. I've just seen the
That's
time.
a shame, man.
What time is it?
5 o'clock,
We should
mate.
do a 2-hour episode.
No. I think we should cut them to 10 minutes.
What was this week's topics? Vegan debts.
Vegan debt.
Julian being wanked to death.
Yeah. A lot of prostitute
Just-
conversations.
and
Sex
Dubai.
workers,
And your
actually.
two
We should say sex
Dubai
workers.
brawls.
Yeah. Well, now we're probably definitely banned from the Middle East. I'm not allowed to go back in case they arrest
I'm going
me.
in December.
Are you?
2022.
December 2022.
Yeah, a year and 3
So
months.
long.
That's how far ahead they
That's a
booked.
far
like.
ahead booking.
Yeah, but you know what? I got 4 days off over there, so 4 days golfing.
Oh yeah.
You love a
yeah.
bit of golf.
Love
don't
it,
you?
love it.
golf.
Me and Cara have played many times.
Yeah, it's
I've
great
heard you're
fun.
very good. I was with
9
Jimmy,
now,
Jimmy
playing off
McGee
9.
the other
Ooh,
day.
that's a lovely handicap.
Playing off 9.
What is that?
It's like
It means it's very good.
they get 9 shots in the course against the course.
How many holes in the
18.
course? That's crazy golf or normal golf?
Normal. Right, let's wrap it up. You're where people can find you online. You're on the socials.
Yeah,
you
I'm on
live?
You're
there.
on Instagrams.
I do Instagram and TikTok at Andrew Ryan Comedy. I don't do Twitter because I think it's full of pricks.
I mean, it's not a nice. Place
I'm only
to-
on Twitter.
Is that what you're on?
It's got 50 shadow accounts. It just tweets hate
How many
at
kids have you
people.
got, Julian?
Two different political.
How many kids have you
views.
got?
Let me count. I can't remember.
You 2 kids, is it 3 kids?
5.
You 5 kids. Are they on socials?
Yeah, but I'm blocked.
My niece won't let me follow anything that she does because she's doing all the dancing.
My,
Oh,
my
yeah,
niece
yeah.
blocked me as well. I had a video of me chasing my daughter and my niece in the hallway going, "Why'd you block me?" And I put it up. It was just a silly video. And then, like, about 6 hours later, people were like, "Oh, that's funny, but that might be a bit weird that you're chasing me." I was like, "No, it's my daughter."
Yeah,
But no
yeah.
one knew. It
Oh,
looked like,
yeah, I
looked like I'm
suppose.
chasing these 2 like teenage
Yeah.
girls.
But
But
Yeah.
they blocked me, yeah.
people can follow us on social media.
Yeah, we are TVI.
Yep. Or
Please
individually.
subscribe to our YouTube channel,
Yes.
which is obviously free.
Yes.
How many followers you got on that?
Loads,
It's
millions.
not. I mean, it's still it's
Starting
early.
out.
It's early
Most
days.
people listen audio, but we're just trying to get those numbers up.
But sign up there. It's Patreon.
It's
We've got a
YouTube.
Patreon get together this weekend.
Get together Sunday midday. What date is it?
20.
So what's that mean then? The get together. You meet your
17th.
fans.
So we do like a Zoom get together with patrons.
October
to
the
them.
17th,
Yeah.
12 o'clock
Yeah.
midday.
So I'll try and get this
Andrew,
out
be
before
there,
then.
mate.
Brilliant.
I'll send you the link, mate.
Link me up, bitch.
The link goes out on Patreon a few minutes before.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
you can
Thanks
pay
for
Well,
us-
listening.
subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/wearetvi.
Yes.
Very simple.
I like your style, Julian. You're
Thank
very
you,
down
man.
to the,
He's good at
Button line.
good at selling it.
Yes.
isn't he? I've enjoyed it. It's nice to be
Thanks for
hang out with
coming,
you.
man.
Yeah.
It's the easy chat, isn't it?
It's just a chat. That's all it is.
You know what I mean? It's good to see you, Julian. You know, it's
good to
see
see
you
you,
outside comedy as well. see
is
what
comedy.
see what you like. Is it?
Outside comedy.
Right. Thanks,
Just me at my
Andrew.
best,
Thanks,
mate.
everyone, for listening. Thanks, anyone, for
Thanks for
watching.
coming, man.
No worries.
There you go. Bye.
Like Rod, Jane, and Freddie.